Hey YouTube, this is Recipe Park Fan 62. It is Wednesday, September the 6th at around 4:46. Uh, Today, Kings Island released their full lineup for Halloween Haunt 2023. Now, I will say this: there is one new maze and one new scare zone, which I will talk about, where they're located, and so forth. Now for the mazes, the first is the new maze for this year, which is called Alien Abyss. If you've been to Kings Island in the past, this is back where Chaos used to be, right near Orion. Um, and it will fit into a scare zone, which I will get to. The next one is Corn. Um, if you don't know where this is behind Congo Falls, right around the outdoor amphitheater, right behind the drop tower. So basically, the facade looks like an old style barn, um, and you kind of go through like hay bales and all this other stuff. The next one is Madame Fatale's Cabin of Terror. This is located in the old Crypt building, right under Diamondback. I haven't been in it personally, but I have heard it's very impressive. The next one is Slaughterhouse. If you've ever been on the Beast and you've looked beside, you see a building. Um, this that is the Slaughterhouse. Um, and then the last one is Hotel Saint Michelle. Um, that was new for last year. Hotel Saint Michelle is in the building that is around the turnaround for the red side of the racer. Um, you basically go back into a motel that has gone wrong. So now for the scare zones. Um, First one is Alien X. This is back in the Area 72 section. This goes back to the Alien Abyss haunted house I talked about not long ago. So this kind of ties in with that. The next one is Coney Mall. Now, the name of that section is called Coney Mall, but they took out one L and put in a U. Now, this is sort of like a carnival style scare zone, but last year when I went, it was seemed more of like a dance party style, which I was not too fond of. I hope they have redone that. The next one is Pumpkin Eaters. Now, Pumpkin Eaters is a very impressive scare zone. This is a scare zone that is, from what I understand, is at multiple Cedar Fair parks. But with that being said, the thing that makes Pumpkin Eaters where it is at Kings Island interesting is one, it is in a bigger section than it used to be. But then two, they have redone it. If you looked at the couple of videos I did of Pumpkin Eaters last year from the event, uh, they have these. It's a facade, but they sort of look like New England style, old time, like huts, houses type things that's been overrun with like giant pumpkin seeds and pumpkin guts and all this other stuff. It is rather impressive during the day or at night. Um, During the day, it is pretty cool looking because you just see pumpkins hanging. Um, and then you see those huts, and then you see like pumpkins on top of hay bales, as well as like pumpkins, like stacked pumpkins, and then all this other stuff. At night is where this really shines because, first of all, it is dark. Well, you do have some red lights in there. Um, at night is where it shines because inside those huts do have lights as well, and then they have this pumpkin demon animatronic. I have posted a video of it, so if you want to go back and look at it from last year, I highly recommend that. Um, and it's cool because it kind of looks like it's lunging at you while they're like just like a strobe light effect on it, and then it kind of goes back down and does this. It is a very cool animatronic, um, and it this is also sort of where corn comes into play because it's like right next door to that. Now, the other thing that makes Pumpkin Eaters unique is its soundtrack. Now, I obviously don't have the soundtrack on hand, but the best way I can describe it, it is a demented version of the nursery rhyme Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater. You may be able to hear it from a video or two I've done last year, as well as some other Pumpkin Eater Scare Zone videos from last year. Next is International Street Fair. This is right as you step in the park. Um, Basically, International Street Fair is cool because it's covered in fog, and then you have all these different cool creatures. Like there last year, there was a person that looked like a statue, but then would scare you. Then they have these two like women that look like they were back from like the 1700s and stuff like that. So it is a rather cool thing to see. And then the last one, which is the new scare zone for this year, it's called Abandoned. This takes place in Rivertown. Um, this basically is still using the storyline from like Mystic Timbers and that, and kind of making it into a more demented version. Basically, the storyline is 66 men and women went into the woods around the Miami Valley Lumberyard, and when they came back, they were not their normal selves. They got turned into these hideous creatures. So you have to try and escape from their evil demise. I kind of like this storyline because over the past couple of years, Rivertown has been one that's been sort of pushed aside. Um, because Rivertown has mostly been something where it's been in between. So you had between basically you had the kids area, Planet Snoopy, and then you would go through Rivertown, other than some Halloween music, and then some um, kids stuff, which I'll get to. Um, there's really nothing that involves haunt in that section. So I am glad they are putting effort into that. Now, shows. Now, you have three shows. First of all, you have Nightwalkers. Now, Nightwalkers, if you went to Haunt last year, was a BMX style show that took place in the, I guess, stunt arena right there by the Eiffel Tower. This is where they have multiple shows throughout the year. So that was kind of neat, and then they incorporated like zombies and all this other stuff. So that was a neat thing to see. I never got to see a full show of it. I got to see parts of it here and there. I'm gonna try and make an attempt this year to when I go to see one of the shows. The next one is Monster Rock. Now this takes place in Festus House. Um, this takes place multiple times throughout Haunt times. Um, and so they basically play a lot of like rock style Halloween music. Um, I know one of them was like Another One Bites the Dust. I think another one was Thriller, and some other cool stuff. Now, a new one for this year is Doctor Nightmare. This takes place on the stage right there in front of the Eiffel Tower, and it is more of like a game show than anything, where if you guess right, you can get prizes. I'm not sure what the prizes are, but if you guess wrong, it is your demise. I kind of like that idea because it is something that you really don't see much of, especially for Halloween events like that. Um, I am curious how they can do that, especially with that sort of environment. So that is something. Um, Now times. Um, for the indoor mazes, which if you're keeping count, is Alien Abyss, Madame Fatale's Cabinet of Terror, Slaughterhouse, and Hotel Saint Michelle. Those open up at 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday nights, and then they close at midnight. On Sundays, um, which like last year they started Haunt on Sundays. It's basically the last 3 Sundays of Haunt, which is October 8th, October 15th, and October 22nd. It is from 6 to 11. For the outdoor maze, which is only corned, um, as well as the scare zones, which is Alien X, um, Coney Mall, Pumpkin Eaters, International Street Fear, and Abandoned. That is for Friday and Saturday nights is from 7 to midnight, and then Sundays, 8th, October 8th, 15th, and 22nd, 7 to 11. Now, I want to go back and talk about Alien X for a minute, um, because last year, with it being his first year, I understand they were trying it out, so they probably got to know what worked and what did not. This year, I'm curious on if they're going to put a little more effort into it, because last year the cool thing that they did is they didn't have to buy anything. Probably, they just used what they had. Now, if you remember from years past, between where you came in and you go toward Action Zone, they had that section where it like the first part was these like zom- alien looking creatures. One of them kind of flung around and did all that. They had those in there, as well as uh, they look like these giant plastic um, water containers, and they just put different color lights in those. Now, with what they had, they made it work. The scare actors they had in there did extremely well last year. Um, I liked how they used the fog to their advantage as well, because some of them would hide in the fog and scare you, as well as others would be more obvious because they were on stilts. But that is cool. Um, Overall, Halloween Haunt this year does look like it's going to be a decent event. Now, I am hearing people saying it's going to suck, um, stuff like that. Hopefully not. We just have to see. I will put down below the price of Fright Lane passes. If you don't know what that is, it's basically skip the line for the haunted attractions. It's just for haunted attractions only. So if you want both the haunted attractions and the fast lane, you have to pay separate for each. I am going to do a video on my overall thoughts about the event. Um, Also, I forgot to mention as well, during the day on Saturdays and Sundays, it is their Tricks and Treats festival, which is their family event. This is where kids can ride the rides in Planet as Snoopy, um, and do all this other stuff like I believe like face paint, ride a donkey, all this other jazz. So keep that in mind. Planet Snoopy will close every Saturday night and Sunday night at 7 for Halloween haunt. So if you have a small child and you go to the event, please be aware of that. Um, or the best thing to do is if you know your child does not like scary stuff like that, the best thing to do is try and leave by 5 o'clock. Um, as 6 o'clock on Saturday nights is when Halloween haunt starts.